Yo, what is up YouTube? It is your boy Spinning Wing coming at you with another video, and as you can see we are doing something very different, something we don't usually do on this channel, let alone talk about. It is the month of March, and with that being the month of March, we've got the March Madness Tournament Challenge for the NCAA men's and women's, but today we are going to do the men's and then I will upload the women's later on today, probably tomorrow. We'll figure that out. But we're looking at our list right here. As you can see, we got the East, the West, the Midwest, and the South. I think we just need to jump right on into it. Who should we start with? We'll start with the South side since it's right here. I like to start from my left, and then we'll go down, and then go to the right, and go on down. Let's go with it, man. Alabama versus the 16th seed. Not too sure which one of these two it's gonna be. Obviously we won't know until it happens, but I'm gonna go with Alabama. Listen, I don't really see a I don't really see a 1 seed getting eliminated this early unless you are the Virginia Cavaliers. So I'm gonna go with Alabama. It's just not common. I mean, Virginia is the first ever team to have that happen. This is not a Virginia type team, so I'm gonna go with Alabama. Next we got Maryland and West Virginia. Now I don't know too much about Maryland. I'm a huge West Virginia fan. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a huge West Virginia fan. I'm not gonna lie. When I look at this team, they've been a lot more solid as the year has gone on. You know, there have been important wins they picked up, like they did against Iowa State, like they did at the end against Kansas State. Important games they need to win, and they've done that. So I'm going to go West Virginia here. I think West Virginia will pick up this win, and it's going to be very good for them. Next, we got San Diego State versus Charleston. Now, me personally, I'm a guy who's here for upsets, okay? Listen, not people know much about this team. We'll take a look real quick right here. We got they're 0-1 against top 25. These guys are 0-2. BPI rank 24th, 63rd. Conference 16-2, 15-3. This team is 31-3 to their 27-6. In points per game, they are very good. They score the ball a lot compared to San Diego State. And as you can tell here, the game predictor, it doesn't have Charleston in favor, but that's not going to stop me from picking Charleston. I've got our first upset of the day. Got Charleston winning it, man. Let's take a look at here at the next one, Virginia versus Furman. Let's see, opponents, points per game. So they don't play a lot of defense. They don't play much defense out here. These guys do, though. Virginia is a defensive type of team. As you can tell, they're 3-3 against top 25 opponents. Furman hasn't played a top 25 opponent, so that doesn't really help them much. Conference-wise, they are 15-3 to Virginia's 15-5, but they score the ball very well. Listen, this is Furman's first time here in I think a couple years. And Virginia is really known for getting here. I'm going Virginia. You got to look at the experience teams have, especially with coaches. When they see a new team or a team that looks kind of young coming up in the tournament, they're going to find ways to harass them defensively. And as we just took a look there, Virginia is a defensive-minded team. So we're going to go Virginia beating Furman. Next, we got Creighton versus North Carolina State. I'm a big, deep down inside, I'm a closet North Carolina State fan. I'm not gonna lie. I like Winthrop, right? And one of my favorite players that played at Winthrop was DJ Burns. DJ Burns went over to, North Carolina State, and he's been hooping for them guys, man. But they also have got they've got a good guard combo. And I think that puts them in a really good situation here. As you can tell, they give up a little bit more points, but they're in a tough conference compared to Creighton. No offense to Creighton. I don't think they're rocking, their conference is not very, it's not scary. You don't look at Creighton and think, oh my gosh, Creighton, the 68 points. Wow, that's actually not bad. But you gotta realize that they're in the Big East. Like the Big East got some good teams. Trust me, don't get me wrong. But like North Carolina State, they're in the. Sorry, I'm yawning. I believe they're in the ACC, so that says a lot in my opinion. And then versus top 25 opponents, Creighton is 5-7, North Carolina State's 2-2, BPI rank 46 to Creighton's 11th, conference 12-8, 14-6, points per game they're about even. These guys are really saying Creighton, but I'm really saying North Carolina State, our second upset of the region, I should say. Baylor versus UCSB. Didn't mean to pick UCSB. Let's do some research here. See what's going on here. Opponents, points per game. They hold them to 5 less. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. That is the reason why. Okay, it's still the same basically. Hasn't faced a top 25 opponent. They are 100 and something rankings worse than Baylor's BPI rank. Conference rankings better. They don't score as well as Baylor. I was going to go Baylor regardless. I'm not trying to pick UCSB. That was not meant to happen. Missouri versus Utah State. This is a 7-10 matchup people don't need to sleep on. This is not one of them games you sleep on and think, oh, this is easily, you know, like look at this, even ESPN's in the way I'm thinking Utah State here. Utah State holds their opponents to less points. They're 0-2 though in the top 25 against top 25 teams, excuse me. While Missouri has a winning record against top 25 teams. Better in conference play, BPI rank, they're better than Missouri, and they're barely just scoring the ball less than them. I would take Utah State. And then Arizona versus Princeton, not much to look at here. I mean, we'll take a look, but we're most likely going to get Arizona. There's not much that tells me otherwise, unfortunately. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and click Arizona. Let's get down. Now we're in the East. We're in the East region. Let's see. Got Purdue. Purdue's going to win. Like I said, I don't expect any one seeds to really take a fall here. You can't really take a look at who it is. This is Texas Southern, I believe. I'm going to say Texas Southern will play them, but it doesn't matter. They're going to lose. Memphis versus FAU. The record speaks names to me. It speaks wonders. They haven't played a top 25 team. Their conference play is good. I'm really leaning towards Memphis. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling Memphis here. I think that's what we're going to go with. Duke versus Oral Roberts. Now, Duke has been extremely hot as of recently. They've been going crazy. They're holding their opponents to 63.9 points, or 64 points basically. Oral Roberts only holding their opponents to 70. 0-1 in top 25. You're 4-4 in top 25. 8-4 conference. 18-0. They were undefeated in their conference. While Duke went 14-6 points per game. They score the ball heavy. But Oral Roberts plays in a division that is kind of weak. But I see an upset here. Oral Roberts going to upset the number 5 seed Duke Blue Devils. And it's going to make every Duke fan cry. Tennessee versus Louis. What? That doesn't make sense. Tennessee versus Louisiana. When you look at this team, for Louisiana, what stands out is actually not even what Louisiana. It's Tennessee. Tennessee holds their opponents to 58 points. That's insane. Their defense is crazy good. And you know, they're able to score the ball kind of well as well. I mean, at the same time. So this is kind of like a no-brainer to me. I'm going Tennessee. Providence versus UK, as in Kentucky, not London. They're very similar in opponents' points per game. The thing with Kentucky is I realized in their conference play, they're very up and down. They can win against a good team and then lose against a really bad team. And listen, my good buddy Jared's not going to be happy about this, baby, but I got Providence winning this sucker. I got Providence because I've got confidence in their ability to score the ball and being able to stop Kentucky's former player of the year. Next, we got Kansas State versus Montana State. Ah, man, as a West Virginia fan, I know a lot about Kansas State. I really do. What people don't know, in my opinion, though, is that Kansas State can play sloppy at times and tend to make mistakes that cost them in the end. When I look at these two teams, they're very similar. They're very similar. Kansas scores 76 points per game. Montana State scores 75 or 74 points per game, but holds their opponents to 67, while Kansas State holds theirs to 69. Ah, man, I listen, I don't like picking Big 12 opponents, but I think Kansas State will beat Montana State. Who's next? Michigan State and USC. Oh boy, what do we have written in the script? USC, Michigan State. My good friend Travis is a Michigan State fan. That's not going to make me go with Michigan. Sorry about that. We're back. Let's go back to Michigan State and USC. I had a little issue with my laptop or my PC, excuse me. Man, what was I thinking here? I'm going USC. USC, listen, I know the Pac-12, Big Ten. I think those conferences play very, very physical against each other. But I've got the Pac-12 team of USC beating the Big Ten team of Michigan State. Marquette versus Vermont. Let's do some research here. These two teams, Marquette is 7-2 against top 25 teams. That is a key thing. People always talk, oh, they don't play good. What's it called? They don't play good opponents. Their conference is weak. The conference may be weak, but look at their record against top 25 opponents. That is a major factor when we look at a number 2 seed, which is why they were ranked number 2. They have a really good record. We're going Marquette, no doubt about it. Let's go over here to the Midwest. Houston versus North Kentucky. Northern Kentucky, I think that's what that is. Oh, I didn't mean to pick you. Houston's going to win. There's no need to take a look about that. NKU, blah, 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 blah. They have better defense, better points per games. It's a wrap, yeah. Iowa. My phone's going off. Don't know why. Iowa versus Auburn. You can really play any way you want to. Like, I'm being honest. See the 3-2 and 2-3 when it comes to top 25. They're giving some of these guys are giving the edge to Iowa. I'm taking a look here. Points per game, so they're really good defensively, but these guys are good offensively. I'm going Auburn because I feel like if they can control Iowa's offense, they'll be able to get in a rhythm of their offense. I'm going Auburn beating Iowa. Miami versus Drake. Man, Miami came in strong. Ooh, but Drake doesn't look that bad in my opinion. They're 1-0 against top 25 play. Now, I don't know who it is they beat, but whoever it was top 25, which makes quite a bit of difference. They're both 15-5 in conference play. Kind of scary for Drake since, they're not in a really tough conference. But I'm going with an upset here. I think Drake will beat Miami and just shock the world. Honestly, I think they will. Wow, I'm really picking all the 12 seeds over the 5 seeds. That's crazy. Hopefully it doesn't become an issue for the next pick. Indiana versus Kent State. Indiana. I've watched Indiana basketball this past year for some reason, and it just screams. It screams they're gonna win, in my opinion. I mean, 5-2 against first top 25. They're 0-2 against top 25. They're better. I mean, Kent State better defensively in a weaker conference, but they can barely score the ball better against a weaker conference. Got Indiana here, man. Iowa State versus either Mississippi State / Pitt. Now this game I'm interested. I'm gonna go Pitt here. First of all, I think Pitt's gonna make it. I think Pitt will beat Mississippi State. I think that's gonna be what happens regardless. So I'm gonna say Pitt beating Iowa State. Iowa State, I love Iowa State, man. I hate to go against a Big 12 team. I really do. Even though I just said I hate picking Big 12 teams. When my team gets out, I tend to root for the other Big 12 teams to represent well. But Pitt, I think Pitt's going to bring the intensity that Iowa State doesn't anticipate, and it's going to throw their game off. Xavier versus Kennesaw State. This could be crazy. What's so crazy about this season is that this has been it's been wild. This year has been wild. It's just been wild. We've had so many upsets thrown around that basically any game can be an upset. They're very good defensively. Big East is not considered a easy but not a hard conference. I think it's wild to have Kennesaw State ranked that bad, and that's why I'm going Kennesaw State. I think they will beat Xavier. No shade to Xavier, but I see the upset. Texas A&M versus Penn State. Texas A&M. Let's see. Big Ten versus SEC. What do we see? We see better points per game held against opponents. Better record versus top 25, better BPI rank, better conference play, let alone better points per game. For some people, this has Texas A&M written all over it. I agree, but I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what people are anticipating. Colgate versus Texas. Oh man, look at this. This doesn't really speak numbers to me enough. They're barely, I mean, Big 12 basketball is going to dominate the hell out of these guys. Got Texas beating beating Colgate, excuse me. Let's go to the West. Kansas will beat Howard, no need to discuss them, people. Arkansas versus Illinois. Ooh, this is a game people don't want to sleep on. To me, I think it's crazy to have Illinois at the 9 seed. I personally think they're beating Arkansas, no problem. They'll just get it done. VCU versus St. Mary's. St. Mary's is a scary team. I think they will be a team to look out for in the future. This year, though, I'm not too sure. I'm kind of leaning towards VCU to upset. But instead, I'm actually going to go St. Mary's because of their record, and they say their conference is not the best, obviously, but when you look at who they've played Gonzaga twice. They beat them once, lost once. I think that speaks enough. VCU, their record, they haven't even played a top 25 team, so I mean, it is what it is. UConn versus Iona. Sorry. Had to do something there. Let's see. They're really even. Difference. UConn's played top 25 teams. UConn has not looked that good, though. I'm not going to lie. They started off hot. Don't get me wrong. They started off hot. They've fallen off. I'm going Iona. Upset again in the West. I don't know if you want to call it Illinois, Arkansas an upset. I'm not. Arizona State / Nevada versus TCU. I got TCU beating either team. I feel like they are the better team regardless. So Gonzaga is going to beat Grand Canyon. No need to think on it. 7-10 seed. Who do we got with Northwestern? Boise State. I think we're gonna go Boise here. I'm gonna go Boise State. I believe in Boise State. UCLA will win. We're in the round of 32. We've got this game coming up. They hold their opponents to 71 points per game. Oh boy. They're 4-8 against top 25. Ooh. What people don't know is that Alabama last played a Big 12 team when they did the Big 12 SEC Challenge, Alabama got smoked by Oklahoma. I think they'll, and I don't think they expected them to bring that Big 12 basketball into play. West Virginia's gonna have to do a better job of locking down Brandon, what's his name? Brandon Miller? I think that's his name, Brandon Miller. They're gonna have to do a good job of locking him down. And West Virginia, I hate to say it, they have not been good at locking down key guys in key situations. For example, when we need to stop Grady Dick against Kansas, I think our second meeting, and that's why we lost. We couldn't stop Grady Dick, and we couldn't keep our eyes on him. Gosh, this is tough. As a West Virginia fan, I want to be biased for the one time. Call me Tim the Tat Man. I'm being biased. West Virginia is gonna upset Alabama. Charleston versus Virginia. Didn't mean to click Charleston. Just got a little trigger happy. Virginia's defense is just fucking incredible, dude. But then you gotta look at Charleston's offense. It's fucking crazy as well. I've got an upset here, ladies and gentlemen. I think we'll have two upsets going into the Sweet 16 to play each other. I think West Virginia and Charleston will meet each other in the Sweet 16. North Carolina State and Baylor. This could be interesting. This could be interesting. I think I'm gonna go North Carolina State here. North Carolina State, they have an even record in opponents they've played. I mean, or in top 25 opponents. Their numbers they look the same, to be fair. I mean, this could go either way. I'm gonna go North Carolina State. Give me Arizona beating Utah State. Purdue, Memphis, Purdue, Oral Roberts, or Tennessee. Man, listen, I feel like the narrative for this has been defense wins championships, offense can win games. But I don't know. This makes me scream. Oral Roberts is a Cinderella team to not sleep on. And that's why I'm going to stick with my pick. Oh boy. Let's see. Oh, final top 25 is out. Getting spammed. Bro. Providence versus Kansas State. This could be close. It really could. I'm going Kansas State. Unfortunately, I see it. 10 USC Marquette. Let's see who feels more stronger in my opinion. I'd probably say Marquette. Marquette looks like the stronger team. Then we're just gonna run through these real quick. Houston's gonna beat Auburn. Indiana will beat Drake. Pitt will beat Kennesaw State. Texas will beat Texas A&M. Kansas will beat Illinois. Iona, I think, will upset St. Mary's. There you go. I think TCU beats Gonzaga. So Gonzaga it folds under pressure against road teams. UCLA will beat Boise State. We've got West Virginia making it to the Elite Eight. I've got Arizona making it to the Elite Eight. I've got Oral Roberts knocking off Purdue. I've got Marquette beating Kansas State. I've got Indiana upsetting Houston. I've got... What am I thinking? I've got Pitt beating Texas. Got Kansas beating Iona. Got UCLA beating TCU. What's next? Arizona beats West Virginia. Indiana's gonna beat Pitt. Marquette wins against Oral Roberts, which ends their unfortunate run. Actually, I take that back. Oral Roberts is going to scare them. Kansas will win against UCLA. Arizona will beat Oral Roberts. Indiana will shock the world and beat Arizona for a score of 78-70. That is who we're going to pick, ladies and gentlemen. We have picked our winner. We've got Indiana taking it all the way to the promised land. Make sure you leave a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe at the same time. And turn those post notifications on. Thank you so much, and have a great day.